Joining me in the studio today is Todd Haynes. He is the president and CEO of Adriel Foster Care in the Archbold area. And Todd, it's great to have you here today. Good to see you.
Max, it's great to be here. Thanks for the invitation.
So I want our listeners to get an idea of what's going on right now with Adriel Foster Care. It's a very special time of year, and we want folks to be able to, A, know what's going on, and B, perhaps get involved. Tell us what's happening.
Absolutely. It is a wonderful time of year, and most of us think about that with very, very fond memories, Christmas and Thanksgiving and family gatherings. But we have in Ohio around 15,000 children that are in children's services or the care of children's services. They're in foster care. And for those 15,000 children in Ohio, Adriel's footprint works with every county that we have, all 88 counties. We have 5 offices in Ohio, and so we do have some geographic centers that we work more with, but 15,000 children that's coming into the Thanksgiving season. You know, think about that. It's a time when families get together. It's a time when there's food that we think about as we gather with our family. And then consider Thanksgiving from a standpoint of a family that perhaps is food insecure. Or think about a family that is afflicted with a drug addiction. Or think about a family that has conflict issues or anger management issues. That child is in the family and it has been removed by children's services. Those family gatherings take on an entirely different feel.
Sure.
And it's something that we try to counter. So we try to offer our families ways to have activities that feel more like regular activities for a child growing up, even though they're in foster care. I think that the number one thing I would say is a child can't push pause on their life.
Right.
And when a child comes into care, first of all, it's through no fault of their own. That's such an important aspect. The child did nothing to be brought into foster care. It was an inability of the parent to parent at that moment. And we try to correct those, and we try to help parents correct those. But at that moment, that child was brought into foster care through no fault of their own. And so it's terribly unfair to say, fifth grader, just push pause on your life until the adults figure it out. And sometimes that means the court is going to work with parents. They're going to ask them to take parenting classes. They're going to ask them to work in maybe drug addiction programs, or they're going to work with conflict management. It's just terribly unfair for a child to simply push pause. And that's what Adriel, we try to be different. We really try to be different and offer activities through our Kids Fund or through our wonderful donors to give them experiences that they may not otherwise have.
Now, you said 15,000 children.
Correct.
And I want folks in Northwest Ohio who are within our signal range, which covers about 60 miles in every direction, to understand that's not just somewhere else. That includes Northwest Ohio.
It certainly does.
And there's a need here in the northwest corner of the state.
Yes, absolutely. I think sometimes we believe it's somewhere else. We think that it might be the urban centers, the Ohio 8, Cleveland, Dayton, Cincinnati. You know, we believe it's somewhere else. It's everywhere. Mm-hmm. And there's no financial line that is drawn that it doesn't happen above. You know, the finances really have very little to do with the ability to parent. And so the issues are everywhere. It's everywhere in the state. It is 15,000. I consider it an epidemic. When I looked at the Dave Thomas Foundation site, I learned that there were 450,000 in the nation, and that is just almost unbelievable. But we'll just focus on Ohio, and 15,000 feels significant to me.
Well, a couple of needs really stand out to me. First of all, there's a need for children to be placed, and there's a need for foster parents to be able to have these children be placed. And so let's talk about how folks in this area who are touched by this and maybe feel a calling to this could perhaps get involved with Adriel.
Absolutely. That's a great question. we can't do our work without foster parents. So that's the number one push. That's the number one request. We have to have places to place the children. And in this case, with the number of children that are out there, we have lots of different kinds of needs. Maybe it's a traditional foster care placement that's going to accept a placement until that child is reunified or becomes what's called permanent custody. Perhaps it's just to give other foster parents a break, and we call that respite. So to bring a foster parent into our program, to train them, to license them, or have them licensed through the state as a foster parent, their goal may be to provide a break for other foster parents, and they don't want the long term, but they'll take a placement for a weekend or a week in respite. And of course, we have needs of coaching. We are often contacted prior to the Children's Services removing a child from their home, and we have contracts with counties to provide coaching to that family. And we use parents as coaches. There's no letters behind your name that's needed. You just have to be a successful parent, go through our training, and you can help another family keep their kids in their home by helping them address the deficiencies that exist. And so the area of foster parent, respite parent, a coach, there's lots of ways to get involved.
One of the things you shared with me was the fact that your number one goal is finding foster parents, but you ask folks to do three things. I'd like you to share those, please.
Absolutely. Well, our number one, we've been in business for 129 years. We have a relationship with the Mennonite Church from the very beginning. And so we are a Christian organization. We're not limited to the Mennonite Church. We have churches of all denominations supporting us. So our number one request of everyone in your listening area is to pray for us. We need that support. We need that continued prayer because the work that we do is difficult, but God doesn't bring you into this work without providing the tools. And I believe the congregations, the community that's listening, prayer is number one. Number two, I'll just say it this way: get your hands dirty, get involved. Become a coach, become a foster parent, become involved with our work in a very hands-on way. And of course, the third is maybe the first two are not options. Oh, certainly prayer is an option, but maybe you're not at a stage where you want to be a foster parent, but you're at a stage where you have financial resources. And so we ask always to consider providing some financial resources, being a donor to Adriel, so that we can do those things that make us different. We want this extra money to allow us to have kids experience camps in the summer, maybe participate in athletics during the year. We all know that's expensive, and we want our foster kids to not be excluded from that because of cost, and that's why our Kids Fund or our Bright Futures Fund receive donations to make those opportunities available to our kids.
Well, that's fantastic. So really, anyone that feels a tug on their heart to get involved can do it in one of those three ways.
I certainly hope so.
Through prayer, through getting involved, rolling up your sleeves, getting your hands dirty, as you said. And number three would be financially. So we want to get information out, and we're going to welcome in another a guest here in just a second. But for folks who are interested right now, what's the best way to reach out and get involved with Adriel, Todd?
You can find everything that you want to know about Adriel or becoming a foster parent at www.adriel.org, ADRIEL.org. Just a wealth of information on our website, and I think that would also give you phone numbers if you want to talk with somebody, and also the ability to print the information and really dig into it.
It's a great site. I've been on it myself.
Oh, thank you.
Very easy to navigate and very helpful, full of information.
Thank you.
Okay, so I want to welcome in Christian Cantu, a young man I've known for quite some time here. He's with you in the marketing realm. And Christian, I want you to talk to us about the Wish Tree. And for this time of year, it's a great thing to know about. So great to have you here, Christian. Tell us about Wish Tree, please.
Definitely. Thank you, Max. Yeah, Wish Tree is something that Adriel's been doing for a while, formerly known as Angel Tree, now Wish Tree. And what it is a program designed where people can sponsor the foster youth in providing and helping with the assistance of Christmas gifts for the foster youth and foster children.
Okay, so there's a lot of different ways to get involved with this as well. What would you suggest people do who are saying, hey, we'd really like to get involved and give to this? What's the best way to do that, Christian?
Yeah, definitely. Again, I'm going to direct us to our website at www.adriel.org. And if you go in the Wish Tree tab there, we have everything that maps it out perfectly. And you can text a number, Wish Tree 2025 is the code. And then you can, from there, sponsor or send donations.
And are there specific suggestions of giving and gifts on this, perhaps?
Definitely, yeah. So we do map it out depending on age and gender of the child and things like that. And then from there, sometimes monetary value depending on what age or gender the child is.
Okay.
Max, we just want to make sure every child wakes up on Christmas morning and they're not disappointed that there's no gifts. Right. That is an important aspect of being a child and the excitement of Christmas. And as Christian said, we have ages, we have the genders of the children. I heard a wonderful story from one of our donors that they involved their family in shopping for the children that they have selected. So if they say they're going to do 10 gifts and they know that there's 5 boys and 5 girls and the ages, they involve their family. They go to the store. They look for different items that would be appropriate. They discuss, would this be something that we would want to give? And they include their kids in the decision-making process and the giving. And then we have collection dates at each of our offices. And so you can bring those gifts in. Now, they're not to be wrapped yet because, we need to help with that piece and get them organized. So they bring the gifts in on the collection dates. And then some would just prefer to give a financial donation and let us shop, which is perfectly okay. And we're excited to receive donations either way.
Is there a date by which folks need to act to participate in this? Kind of a deadline, if you will?
Yeah, definitely. So December 8th, we have 2 locations running from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. for the Wish Tree. That is our Bellefontaine, Ohio location and our Archibald location, as well as Westerville. And then on December 9th, we have 2 locations, Van Wert and Toledo, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. that will be doing that.
Wow. Fantastic. And we really appreciate the work you're doing. Really important. I want to encourage our listeners to get involved. These are some really caring people. It's a tremendous organization with a great history, and they're really rooted deeply in what they're doing. I want to get the website out there one more time, if you could, please, Todd.
www.adriel.org.
Well, this is the first of many interviews and communiques we're going to have with the folks at Adriel, because we want people in Northwest Ohio to know about it, be encouraged to get involved with Adriel and the ministry that you folks are doing. We really appreciate it. Christian Cantu, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Max.
Great to see you.
You as well.
Todd Haynes, thank you.
Thanks, Max.
We really appreciate Adriel, and we look forward to many more communications from you folks.
Appreciate it. Appreciate the work you do, too.